Already, let's start. So, before we begin, I would like to introduce our speaker, Dana, a highly respected counselor known for her expertise in art and design animation and counseling. With years of experience guiding students applying to top art schools and creative programs, Dana has helped so many young artists build strong portfolios and refine their voice and present their in creative identity with clarity and confidence. Dana, I will pass the mic to you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you to the parents and the teens that are here. This presentation is about the college application process for the teen artists and the guidance that we provide to them. I'm Dana, and I've been a college counselor with Interface for 7 years. The students are very talented, and the team at Interface is wonderful. So this has been a joy for me to work with the students. I am also a published author of a recent book called The Creative Candidate, a guide to college admissions for teen artists. So feel free to check that out at your local bookstore or even on Amazon if you like this presentation. I am a graduate of Columbia University, and I also have a Master of Arts in Education. And in my free time, I enjoy making watercolor art, and I also do ikebana floral arrangement. So all of this I bring into my counseling to support the students. Next. So what is the purpose of the art portfolio? It is twofold because if you are applying as an art and design major, it is really to show your talent and your creativity, but it has to be very specific toward what that major wants to see and specifically what that college wants to see. However, recently I've been advising other creative students as well that are focusing on other academic areas such as biology, physical therapy, business, entrepreneurship, and psychology or sociology, but they also happen to be very talented artists. So, the purpose of the portfolio in this way is to show the whole applicant, the whole student, and you come alive off the page. And this just shows all the talents that you'll bring to the college and shows your creative thinking process as well. And we all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So that portfolio really shows all that you will bring and the creativity to your college. My approach to being an educator and to being a college counselor is the idea approach. And I help students to identify what are their strengths and then to develop those further, develop their skills through this one-to-one encouragement. And the empower part of the process is to be there to guide the student and to help them improve in this process. The end goal is to achieve that college acceptance, that um, going through the gates of their college. However, achieve is also to help them achieve their other goals in life and to provide some clarity and direction for their future interests. And through this is to make life more meaningful through art. Next. What are the portfolio recommendations? Well, most colleges like to see about 8 to 12 of your strongest, most recent works. And now I'm talking about visual artwork in this slide. Um, when I guide students about the portfolio, I try to encourage them to think of it like a gallery show of their work and what will be hanging on the white walls of the gallery. And I encourage students to have a very strong and engaging piece up front and also one at the end to leave a lasting and memorable impression. So it's about the organization and arrangement of the portfolio as well, which shows that you've put thought and care into this. And there's a lot of meaning in the artwork as well. Also, in a couple slides of these 8 to 12 pieces, I do recommend that students show their sketches or process work that they've gone through to achieve the final piece. Because as we can see at the bottom of the slide, the quote from Pratt Institute, they want to see more about how students explore, not just the final result. So this ties back to their thinking and their making process, which can be recorded in a couple of the pieces as well. And also lately, another tip is that I've been seeing students make a short video flipping through their sketchbook and include this video component as part of the portfolio as well, because this just shows a record of what you've been thinking and making. Also in the portfolio, speaking about the organization of the pieces, they can be organized by medium, such as paintings grouped together and 2D work and then 3D work grouped together, or it can be a more thoughtful arrangement based on theme and the meaning of the pieces as well. Next. So what should I put in the portfolio? What counts? What should I put in there? If I'm a visual artist, it includes many different mediums. However, I've had students that just focus on one, just doing ceramics because that is their main interest. And that is fine because that shows your main focus and what you are very interested in. Other times, I have students that try a variety of medium like painting, drawing, and so on, because this is also nice. It shows experimentation and trying new things. I will also say that recently I had a student who showed printmaking in her portfolio, and it was very stood out. It was very strong and caught my eye. And I typically don't see printmaking work from secondary school or high school age students. So this is something that if you enjoy it, you might want to explore printmaking to put in your portfolio as well. You also want to think that the portfolio is being viewed on a computer screen, and it's being looked at by the reviewer. So the printmaking and the bold, eye-catching pieces will stand out. Now with film, I've also advised film students, and this is where the portfolio is a little bit different because of course it is a video. And typically what colleges like to see for film or animation is a short 3 to 5 minute video of your work. Now, this can be a compilation of some of your best pieces, or it could be a short that you've made specifically for the portfolio, or a short piece that is cut to the 3 to 5 minutes for the portfolio. I've also worked with photography students, and lately I have advised game design students as well. And this is a new trend that I'm seeing. It's very interesting. And here, the students, similar to film, are going to actually play their own game and record it and then narrate what they're doing, what is the meaning inside of the game. They will record it and then they can put that link on a platform like YouTube and then use that link as part of the portfolio for college. And I've also advised fashion students, so that has been really interesting as well. I will also say another note is dance and music students. With dance, very similar to film and the digital media as well. This is where you will be submitting about a 3 to 5 minute video of your dance performances. It could be anything. I've advised students from ballet, contemporary, jazz, traditional, and they've shown a variety of pieces in a compilation, whereas another student recorded her video specifically for the portfolio. So it's up to you in that process, and that's where each student is unique in our guidance, that nothing is a formula, that we really believe in the students' artwork and what they want to say. And that's where we really get to know your student and give them that personal guidance. Next. So, what is the creative resume? This is also not required as part of the college application. It is something that you can do to supplement your application. So, why would I do something that's not required? Well, this shows that you've gone above and beyond. It shows your maturity. And also, this creative resume for the younger teens can be used for pre college summer programs, and it can also be used for internship opportunities. So, the way that I guide students through the creative resume is I like to suggest a Canva template because students are typically familiar with that already and they know how it works. And I encourage students to write a short About Me section at the top. And the About Me section just says what kind of artist you are, the type of work that you are making currently, any influences that you have that relate to your artwork, and where you want to take this in the future, any future goals. The creative resume can also show any publications, awards, or community work. And this is typically something that we make specific to the arts, whereas in the rest of the college application, they might be showing other academic areas or volunteer areas or athletics. This is just kept as the creative piece, so as not to replicate or um, reproduce other information that is already in the rest of the application. This is something new. And also, this is sometimes one of the last pieces of information that the admission reader will scan, will look at. So this leaves a memorable impression. It shows that you're professional and thoughtful and have gone the extra mile in your process. Next. What does the submission process look like for the portfolio? Well, it is different for depending on which college you are applying to. There are different ways to submit the portfolio depending on what that college requires. And one platform that we typically see is called SlideRoom. And this is most often used for the art and design colleges. And this is a separate website where you would make an account and then upload your artwork into this platform, which is connected with your college. Another channel is through the Common App. And this is typically where the supplemental portfolios are done. In the Common App, if you indicate an interest in the arts at the beginning of the Common App, then your college will send you a student portal link after you've submitted the Common App. And then in that student portal, you will upload your portfolio and your creative resume. So it is specific for each school, and that you don't have to worry about that too much because that's where we come into play as the counselors, where I come in to help advise you. I love to research and I know about what are the requirements for the colleges. So that's what I will share with you when we work together. Next. Here are some nice words from accepted students that I've worked with recently. I'm so proud of them. I'll read the first one. The student said, "Dana encouraged me every step of the way and helped me grow as an artist and person." And this student was accepted to Washington University in St. Louis, WashU. So I'm so happy to hear that because that is really what it's all about for me as a counselor. Not only did I advise the student on her application and she was accepted to WashU, but she told me that she grew as a person through the process. So that's what it's all about for me. And I know the other interface counselors as well. And other students have been accepted to UCLA, the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and Parsons. Uh, I'd also like to just praise my students through over the last 7 years. My students have received over combined $1 million in scholarships combined from colleges that have given them offers. So that's just amazing to hear as well. And that just goes to show the talent of the students and how well they've prepared their application. And a couple other nice things there from other students as well, from other colleges like USC. And I even had twins that were accepted to Yale and Brown, and a student who was accepted recently to Cornell. So these are all nice words, but all the talent goes to the students. And we, as a counselor, are just a helper on their shoulder through this process and a guide to them. So it all goes to the students' talent. So to recap this discussion, the purpose of the portfolio is another way to come alive off the page of the application, to show your creativity and imagination to the college admissions officers, to make them imagine you on campus and what you will be doing on campus, the kinds of activities you will be a part of, what kind of student will you be in the classroom. And this tells your creative story. And we all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so maybe a video will be worth 1,000,000 words as I'm seeing more students incorporate video into their applications. And that has been very wonderful to see, especially from the film and game design students and the dance and music students as well. So many talents here within our community. Next. This is the fun part where I get to show some examples of students' artwork. And if we work together, I have the full portfolios for you to see from the students. So it would make a lot more sense when you see the whole portfolio together. And I have many portfolios to share at a range of styles and levels of art. But these students were accepted to Boston University Emory University, Brown and Rhode Island School of Design combined major, and Indiana University. And some of these students here um, were not even majoring in visual art. One was majoring in sociology, another was majoring in business and in science. So they just happened to have multiple intelligences and multiple talents. So very proud to work with these students. And here as well, the artwork that you see within the portfolio is all original. Things may have been tweaked in Adobe or using the iPad for some digital creation, but this is all done from the mind and from the hand. And I'm very proud of these students as well, from Sarah Lawrence University and another student from Hanjik University in Korea. And a student's example here from the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California, Tufts University, and a fashion design student from Drexel University as well. So it's wonderful to see their artwork here in different mediums. The fashion design is actually a collage, and then in the center, we have painting. And on the Leo Messi illustration is digital art as well. So these students are going on to do amazing things in college as well. Next. And I have a student who studied at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. And these are photographs of styles, but she also did this picture in the center, and you might think it's watercolors, but it's actually makeup. She did it out of eyeshadow. And now she's gone on to have a career in fashion marketing and management in New York. So I love to stay in touch with the students to see where they go in their creative careers past college. And it's just such a great group to work with. Next. And just to highlight the students as well, these are some recent acceptances, and just so proud of the students being accepted to some of these top institutions. They put in a lot of time, academics and in art. And I know that that takes up a lot of their time in the teen years, but some highlights here to mention from recent acceptances. Next. And also, as I mentioned, I'm a published author, and I just published my book, The Creative Candidate, which, if you like this talk, you can grab the book because each chapter goes more in depth about what we're discussing tonight. And you can get it at your local store or Amazon. This is the question and answer part of the presentation. So I think that we will be going to any questions that are here from the participants, and I'm all ears.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you so much. So we are welcoming your questions. So if you can feel free to unmute yourself or just like type your question in the chat box. Wow, I do have questions for you, Dana. So I raise my hand first, and I know that like you just mentioned that like the university that welcome different diverse formats of arts perform in their portfolios, and we all know AI is developing so fast for those digital art. Can I use AI to like create some like artworks or visual arts, put them this works into like a portfolio?
This is a tough question because colleges really, especially if you are applying for an art and design major, colleges will start you off by hand, still quite
Mm.
traditional drawing and painting, drawing from observation. If you are applying for an art and design major, there are certain pieces in the portfolio that they would like to see, like the self portrait or landscape or observational sketch, architectural sketch that shows perspective, just to know about your use of color and so on.
Mhm.
I still think to preserve the originality and the genuine
Mhm.
craft of the artist. So I think we've been editing and supplementing, tweaking pieces in Adobe or Lightroom, or just using digital media on your iPad to create. We've
Mhm.
seen that already, but it still comes from the real source creation that the students are starting from. So I
Okay.
don't think AI really is what you want to put into your application. You can play around with that for fun.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can play around with it and just learn some different skills and techniques. But in the application, I think just keep it genuine to your heart and to where you want to go in the future. And who knows, things might change as
Yeah.
technology evolves.
Yeah. So thank you. And I'm just like there's so many different types of AI. There are some types of AI they can like using the like different like prompts to create different types of like images. So I'm just like wondering, maybe some people like me like have these kind of like similar questions. Another things like you just mentioned, you have like advising so many students, they have a multiple intelligence. So I want to address that within interface we have like a comprehensive assessments for every students, and we have this part like intelligent like assessment can identify different like types of like talents behind of each student. And for those students who have multiple like intelligence, what is better? So if they have for example, if they have both like art, like visual arts talent, intelligence, and also the student is so good at math, what is like a direction you will suggest, or just like combine two, or just like, oh, you can emphasize like math and use the art, the visual art, the art side to like enhance your difference to make your art stand out among the applicants.
Yeah, that's really great. I follow the student's lead. I give them a lot of ideas and support, but each student is different through this process. But for example, recently I was advising a photography student, but
Hmm.
he was majoring or applying as an area of focus in business. So the
Hmm.
photography didn't really relate to business at that point. It was
Hmm.
a lot of athletic and sports photography that he
Yeah.
did as part of his school club, how he was involved with his school club. So that was fine to show how he spent his time in school and in club and what are his other interests with photography. Um, I also had another photography student recently.
Hmm.
He's majoring in, or his area of interest is business as well and technology, but the photography is more documentary style.
Yeah.
So I really just go with the student's focus and what they want to do and their genuine passion and interest. Um, Sometimes it does work to combine the two. For
Hmm.
example, the student in this presentation that we talked about that was accepted to Brown and
Hmm.
RISD, she selected an academic area of study in science.
Yeah.
But she did a lot of visual artwork. And then to combine it with the science, she did some graphic design and informational, even short videos to explain complex science topics, but like put it in a more graphically appealing way so that more people can understand it. So that was
Hmm.
one way I think it was super successful for her because she made the artwork to combine with the science area of study.
So can I understand if I'm understanding correctly? So there's it's a big a part of like your like guidance counseling with students will find out how to bridge your like if you have a multiple interests, if you have multiple intelligence, like how to combine those two like intelligence under your lead, under your like the direction you want to pursue, right?
Yeah, but that might not even happen at this stage as a teen. I
Mm.
try to plant the seed sometimes because recently I was advising actually a music composition student who
Wow.
is applying for medicine.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing research on Alzheimer's and the brain and things like
Yeah.
that. And so we were talking about how music can um,
Impact.
recall certain things,
Yeah.
help recall certain things in the brain for Alzheimer's, which is really fascinating. And there's research happening right now about that. And so who knows, maybe in the future in college or after she will become
Mm-hmm.
involved in that in college. But right now, her music composition portfolio was really just her creating her artwork,
Mm-hmm.
her music at this time, but it's planting the seed for what she can do in the future to combine those interests.
Yeah, and also like I think it's like you give a very very great example like when you are when you are like the student like is interested in like medicine and she's also like have like a talent about music and she found oh music can like maybe can have a, like a system like in like to help with the older adults with Alzheimer disease to prevent like memory loss and I'm just like thinking about like you just mentioned like it's not only like matters what you present, it's more about why you do so. So how can you how you so along with like your like like a college like guidance, how do you what do you do to make those students think about why?
Yeah, that's great. And you're right that it is thinking more about why am I creating this and what is the meaning behind it. Often visual artists have a lot of meaning behind their artwork. And sometimes students actually don't even share a lot of this with other people, even their teachers or sometimes not even their parents or their friends. But they do share with me because we're in these meetings and I'm asking them those challenging questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that part of our process working together is helping them communicate about
Mm-hmm.
their art and helping them find the words and asking them those questions why, because then they have to stop and pause because we all know that in the teen life things move so fast, school is so fast, and they're doing many different things. The creative piece, the creative time, is
Mm-hmm.
where we can pause and really go in depth about the artwork and to find out what's the reason why and the motivation behind wanting to create the artwork. And I will also say that the artwork sometimes influences other parts of the college application as well,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really great to write about in the essays. In the essays of the application, they will ask, what's one of your special talents? Or is
Yes.
there anything else that you'd like to share about you that you haven't yet? And so, in that way, students can write short essays about their artwork. And that's been really a great way to connect
Mm-hmm.
all sides of them in the application.
Great. So very well said. And we have a question in the chat box, and one of our like audience, she uh wants to know if his kid like a kid wants to go to like a direction of finance, like a finance major, and it's necessary to do the portfolio, and does school like accept it? And most of the kids like activity cluster in the competition and club, and the parents want to know whether like the portfolio it matters. I think this is not a yes and no answer. Just give the some like a reference, some like a logical way, make them more like informative, like can make the decision whether it's necessary to do that.
Sure. Um, it is not required. It is not necessary for a finance area of interest. However, if the student has this special skill or special interest that they feel that they've spent a lot of time in throughout their high school experience and they want to showcase this, if it is at a high level, then they can certainly show this as a supplement to the application. And this is where they show the creativity because I think in finance,
Mm,
not just about numbers. You're also working with lots of different people, with companies, and it's about the idea sometimes as well. And maybe to bring a creative thought into the finance world as well, I think might open some doors and be really neat and show something different. So again, it is not necessary, it's not required for a finance student, but if this is something they feel they would like to show, if they have some artwork or currently making any form of art, it can be a supplement to the application. And um, I have found that just from what I've shown you in this
mhm,
presentation, our students have received great acceptances.
mhm,
And I do believe that it makes the student come alive off the pages of the application and show their special talents, what they can bring to the college through their art. And again, it's not just about the college acceptance, although that comes, of course, but it's a special thing that the student can still have in their life to make their life more meaningful through their art. So it really is a personal practice and a personal development for the student.
great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. I think we have a lot of information to digest today. So, so I have one more questions. Uh, I think I think this question, uh, sh- uh, the parents will have like a follow-up question. If they have this, and it will be helpful to college application to make the candidate more like a competitive.
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that in the students that I've worked with. And even some have said to me, I think the creative resume was the
Hmm.
thing that made me stand out. So it could be the portfolio piece if the student has that real interest in art and showing their talents. It could be that creative resume that was just put together in such a professional way that showed their maturity and
Hmm.
that they've gone the extra mile. So I do think that this enhances the application. Again, it's not for everyone that they have to do it, but if you're a student who is interested in art and design, you're in the right place, you're in the right meeting.
Hmm.
And I just want to say to the students and encourage you to keep going and keep
Hmm.
making your art because your art really does matter, I think, in your life. And
Hmm.
also the college acceptances will come as you develop.
Great.
So I'm really happy to be a part of that student development as they
Hmm.
mature and go into college.
Hmm. So I have one last question. So my training background is more like academic training. When I'm doing PhD, I know that like, if you want to like apply PhD, they like those like a PhD admission program, they are value some qualities. For example, like curiosity and and sometimes they want some person not the smartest person. They want person be more stubborn, have a, like a encouragement to explore the deeps of the knowledge. So if some students they are like art students, what a kind of what kind of qualities the school or the program looking for? The common the common quality they are looking for.
Oh, the quality in the college that they're
Yeah,
looking for?
yeah, yeah, yes, for the art students.
Yeah, that's really great. Again, it's one of those where it really varies by student. They have their own particular interests.
Mm,
However, the art students, they do want to be typically in an environment that has, of course, other students that are creative as well and sharing ideas.
hmm
But more often, I'm hearing from students, they prefer not to be in such a competitive environment where students are competing with each other, but they want to be more in a collaborative environment where there's a feeling of um, teamwork and collaboration
hmm
and a positive atmosphere at the school. And I'm really proud of the students for wanting that
hmm
and not just going for the cutting edge, who's the best, but they want to work together and they understand that in
hmm
this 21st century that we are have to work together to go forward and make all this art happen. So it is a collaboration.
Collaboration, right?
Also, students, of course, the art and design and many other students that come from international areas want to be in a city where
hmm
they can go to gallery shows, they can go to museums, of
hmm
course, eat some great food and be close to airports. So the location is a factor in addition to the experience at the college. I
hmm
will say also the connection with the educators, with the
hmm
professors is also really important. Students sometimes don't think about that, but I do encourage them to make
hmm
those connections with the professors because they will be their advisors on the next
hmm
stage of life and for their careers as well.
Thank you, thank you. So, thank you, Dana. Thanks for your like wonderful presentation today. I want to say congratulations on some new like published book, and
So
thank
much.
you, thank you, and谢谢大家参加今天的这样的一个讲座。然后现在嘛就是 holiday season，然后希望大家都可以保持温暖，stay warm, everyone. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
拜拜。